I never thought my ordinary life would change so quickly. It all started one rainy afternoon when I was walking home from school. The sky was dark and the rain fell heavily, making the street slippery. I hurried under my small umbrella, trying to avoid the puddles. Suddenly, I heard a faint meowing sound coming from a cardboard box near an alley. Curious, I walked closer and saw a tiny, wet kitten shivering inside. Its fur was black with white patches, and its big green eyes looked up at me sadly. My heart melted. I couldn't leave it there. I carefully picked up the kitten and tucked it inside my jacket to keep it warm. "Don't worry, little one," I whispered. "I'll take care of you." I didn't know what to do next, but I knew I couldn't leave it alone in the rain. As I walked home, the kitten snuggled against me, purring softly. When I reached my house, I hesitated. My parents had never allowed me to have a pet before, but I had to try. I opened the door slowly, hoping my mom wouldn't notice the kitten right away. But as soon as I stepped inside, she turned around and gasped. "What is that?" she asked, pointing at the little ball of fur peeking out from my jacket. I took a deep breath and explained how I found the kitten in the rain. To my surprise, my mom's stern face softened. She sighed and said, "All right, but only until we find its owner." I grinned and hugged her. "Thank you." That night, I made a cozy bed for the kitten out of an old towel and a small box. I gave it some milk, though I later learned that kittens shouldn't drink regular milk. The kitten licked my fingers before curling up to sleep. I named it Pepper because of its black and white fur. Over the next few days, Pepper became part of our family. We put up posters and asked around the neighborhood, but no one claimed her. My parents finally agreed to let me keep her. One evening, as I played with Pepper in my room, I noticed something strange. She kept pawing at my closet door, meowing insistently. "What is it, Pepper?" I asked, opening the door. To my shock, I saw a small, glowing key hidden behind my shoes. It was unlike any key I had ever seen, golden with strange symbols carved into it. My heart raced. Where did this come from? I picked up the key, and as soon as I touched it, Pepper darted out of the room. "Pepper, wait." I ran after her, but she was surprisingly fast. She led me to the attic, a place I rarely visited. The door was slightly open, and inside, I saw an old wooden chest covered in dust. My hands trembled as I inserted the key into the lock. With a soft click, the chest opened, revealing a folded map and a small, leather-bound book. The map showed a place called the Hidden Valley, with a red X marking a spot deep in the forest near our town. The book was filled with handwritten notes and sketches of strange plants and animals. At the top of the first page, it read, "For the curious and brave." I couldn't believe it. Was this some kind of treasure map? The next morning, I packed a small bag with snacks, a flashlight, and a water bottle. I tucked the map and book inside and quietly left the house with Pepper following me. The forest was thick and quiet, with sunlight barely breaking through the trees. Following the map, I walked deeper into the woods until I reached a clearing. There I saw a large, ancient-looking door built into the side of a hill, covered in vines. My heart pounded as I pushed the vines aside. The door had a keyhole shaped just like the golden key. With a deep breath, I inserted the key and turned it. The door creaked open, revealing a dark tunnel. Pepper meowed and ran inside before I could stop her. "Pepper, come back," I called, but she had already disappeared into the darkness. I had no choice. I turned on my flashlight and stepped inside. The tunnel was cold and damp, with walls covered in glowing moss that lit the way. After walking for what felt like hours, I reached a huge underground cavern. My jaw dropped. The cavern was filled with glowing crystals, sparkling like stars. In the center stood a beautiful tree with silver leaves, and beneath it sat a small, furry creature, unlike anything I had ever seen. It looked up at me with big, round eyes and smiled. "You've finally arrived," it said in a soft, musical voice. I stumbled back in shock. "Why, you can talk." The creature nodded. "I am a guardian of the Hidden Valley. The key chose you because you have a kind heart." Before I could ask more, Pepper ran up to the creature and rubbed against his legs. The guardian laughed. "Ah, your little friend led you here. She is one of us." My mind spun. "What do you mean?" The guardian explained that Pepper was a magical guide, sent to bring worthy humans to the hidden valley. The guardian then handed me a small silver leaf from the tree. Keep this as a reminder of your bravery. But now you must return home. The valley must remain hidden. I wanted to stay and explore more, but I understood. As I turned to leave, the guardian whispered, "You may return one day, if your heart remains pure." With that, the door closed behind me, and I found myself back at the edge of the forest. Pepper purred in my arms, as if nothing unusual had happened. When I checked my pocket, the silver leaf was still there, glowing faintly. From that day on, life was different. I knew magic existed, and I had a secret adventure no one would believe. Pepper stayed by my side, her green eyes twinkling with mystery. And sometimes, when the moonlight shone just right, I thought I heard the faint echo of the guardian's voice, calling me back to the hidden valley. The secret of the silver leaf. I thought my adventure was over when I returned from the hidden valley, but I was wrong. The silver leaf the guardian gave me never lost its glow, and Pepper still acted strangely sometimes, like she knew things I didn't. Weeks passed, and life went back to normal, or at least as normal as it could be after discovering a magical underground world. Then, one night, everything changed again. I was lying in bed, staring at the silver leaf in my hands, wondering what it really meant. The guardian had said I could return one day. But how? The door in the forest had vanished after I left, and no matter how many times I went back to the same spot, I couldn't find it. Pepper was curled up beside me, purring softly, when suddenly her ears perked up. She jumped off the bed and ran to the window, meowing urgently. I got up and looked outside, but all I saw was the quiet street under the moonlight. Then I noticed something strange. The silver leaf in my hand was glowing brighter than ever, pulsing like a heartbeat. A soft breeze blew through the window, even though it was closed. The air smelled like flowers and earth, just like it had in the hidden valley. My heart raced. Was this a sign? Before I could think, Pepper leaped onto the windowsill and pushed the glass open with her paw. I had never seen her act like this. "Pepper, what's going on?" I whispered. She turned to look at me, her green eyes glowing faintly, then jumped out into the night. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed my jacket, slipped the silver leaf into my pocket, and climbed out after her. The moment my feet touched the grass outside, the world around me seemed to shimmer. The trees in the distance looked taller, their leaves shining silver under the moon. The street lights flickered, and for a second, I thought I saw shadows moving in ways they shouldn't. Pepper was already running ahead, her black and white fur almost glowing in the dark. I sprinted after her, my breath coming fast. We reached the edge of the forest, but it wasn't the same forest I knew. The trees were different, older, grander, with bark that looked like carved stone. The path ahead was lit by tiny floating lights, like fireflies, but they moved in patterns, as if guiding me. The silver leaf in my pocket burned warm against my leg. I knew then that I wasn't in my world anymore, or at least not entirely. Pepper stopped in front of a massive tree with roots that twisted into the shape of an archway. Beneath the roots was a door, not the same one as before, but similar, with the same strange symbols carved into it. The glowing lights swirled around it, and the door slowly creaked open. Pepper looked back at me, as if saying asterisk, "Well, are you coming?" Asterisk, I took a deep breath and stepped inside. The moment I crossed the threshold, the air changed. It was warmer here, filled with the scent of blooming flowers and fresh rain. I stood in a vast meadow under a sky filled with swirling colors, purple, blue, and gold, like an endless sunset. In the distance, I saw mountains that seemed to touch the sky, their peaks glowing with an inner light. This wasn't just the hidden valley. It was bigger, more magical than I remembered. A voice behind me made me jump. "You've returned." I spun around and saw the same small, furry guardian from before, smiling up at me. "I knew you would." I stared at them, my mouth dry. Where are we?" The guardian chuckled. "This is the true hidden valley. What you saw before was just a glimpse." Before I could ask more, the ground beneath me trembled slightly. The guardian's smile faded. "Ah, they know you're here." "Who?" I asked, my stomach tightening. The Watchers, they said. Beings who guard the balance between your world and ours. Not all of them approve of humans visiting. Just then, a shadow passed over the meadow. I looked up and saw a huge, winged creature circling above, like a dragon, but made of swirling mist and starlight. Its eyes glowed silver, fixed on me. The guardian grabbed my hand. "We must go." "Now." Pepper yowled and dashed ahead as the guardian pulled me toward a cluster of glowing trees. The winged creature let out a sound like 1,000 whispers, and the air grew cold. I ran as fast as I could, my heart pounding. The trees ahead parted like curtains, revealing a hidden path. We sprinted through just as the creature swooped down, its claws scraping the ground behind us. The path led us to a small village made of round, mushroom-like houses, their roofs glowing softly. Tiny creatures, some furry, some with wings, some that looked like walking plants, turned to stare as we rushed past. The guardian didn't stop until we reached the largest house in the center. Inside, the air was warm and smelled of herbs. An elderly creature with long, silver fur and wise, golden eyes stood waiting. "Ah," the elder said, "the human with the silver leaf." I was too out of breath to speak. The guardian bowed. "The Watchers have seen her. They will not let her leave easily." The elder sighed. "Then she must prove herself worthy."